We need to introduce our first speaker, which is Belinda Waldock from Software Cornwall. And she's going to be catching us up with some stuff on Software Cornwall and Agile.
Hello, alright. Hang on. Okay, cool. Did you get a chance to have a nose at that video that was playing a second ago? Just to explain what that was, our farmer, Darren's not here, is he? Is anybody from the farmer TV here? Darren Whittington runs a digital media course at Falmouth, and he set his students a project to rebrand tech in Cornwall and come up with some ideas. So kind of partnered with Software Cornwall. We kind of came up with this, all the students came up with these concepts, and that was the video that was playing, how they've kind of come up with these different ideas. And we're hoping to, well, I've been playing it at conferences actually, so it's been played twice in London the last couple of weeks, and then it's been played in Bristol and Cardiff and somewhere else as well. So getting the, so very minimum viable product, create something that's got some value and put it out there and get some feedback. And you can find it on Vimeo or on the Software Cornwall website if you want to share it, that'd be ace. So hello, I'm going to do a short session. I'm going to do a little quick update on Software Cornwall. I've just realised I can't read notes off my slides, can I? So I have to make it up as I go along. And a bit about who I am and what I do. Hopefully that slide, okay. So I'm one of the co-founders and directors of Software Cornwall. We've been going for 18 months now, nearly, going really well. And I'm also one of the co-organisers of Agile on the Beach. Anybody been to Agile on the Beach? Hey, hands, so this is our beach photo from this year. For the couple here that have been on a number of years, you know what it takes for me to kind of get everybody away from the beer and food and actually stand there and smile. So you've got Toby, our photographer, usually stood there trying to take a photo of me doing silly things to try and get everybody smiling and waving. Yeah, so I co-organise that, and then I also run Being Agile, which is my own business, which is all about helping businesses to become more agile. So in tech, outside of tech as well, so doing it with software and technology, but then doing it with breweries and fashion designers and museums and different contexts like that. So today, one of the things we're going to do is do the retrospective sailing. But first, what I wanted to do was give you a very quick update on Software Cornwall. So we've been going for 18 months. We've had another really, really good year. We're up to nearly 100 members, which is fantastic. Businesses, individuals and students. We've had a phenomenal amount of jobs being advertised this year, education stuff going on with the Mission to Mars. Our Crowdfunder project, of course, which funded some new robots for our Mission to Mars, which is basically we get kids usually under the age of 18. So last summer we had nearly 40 of them from 16 different schools come for a work experience week. Various guys, Mike Wilcox, Steve Moore, Byron from Blue Fruit, and lots of other volunteers and mentors run this week where they teach them how to program the robots and for a mission to Mars. And it's just phenomenal to watch the kids kind of, like on the first day you can't get a word out of them, and on the last day you can't shut them up. You know, it's a really awesome thing to see. So if you want to get involved in that and help out in any way, just give us a shout, that'd be awesome. We are, we're building on various things. We're quite kind of minimum viable, but we are standing on our own 2 feet now. But the more members that we get, the more we can do, because basically that cash goes straight in. Kind of what we want to do is we ran, so that photo was from our Connect event in June. Who was at that event? How many of you? Yeah, a few people. And we had about 140 people. We planned for 80. Well, we planned for 50, and it kind of got a bit out of control, so we kind of took over the whole of PIC. And what we want to do is we want to run that again. So we're looking at the moment of potentially using the Surge brand that one of the students came up with. We need to talk to them more about that, and whether they're happy for us to use that branding. And that has got a provisional date of the 23rd of January. So one for your diaries. And there'll be more news coming out about that soon. So, and that's just really good news. And then the other thing, oh, and there'll be members can exhibit and talk, and we'll do lightning talks similarly to last time, and we'll do various things, so keep an eye out. Oh, it's because I'm clicking there, isn't it? And then the other thing is Agile on the Beach. So it's 6th and 7th of July this year. This year we had 350 people again. It was just amazing. We have a beach party. We have a boat trip as well. We chartered one of the St Mawes ferries this year, and that was brilliant. For Software Cornwall members, you can get 10% discount code off. So mega early bird prices hold until the end of December, but with that code you can get another 10% off. But you do need to be Software Cornwall members. That's kind of a perk. So you can see us kind of, if you join, then you'll get that bonus if you want to come along. If you need that code, just let me know, because obviously I'm just flashing it up. So, like we did it. There you go. So how many of you are techies, tech in that kind of, or tech, like I put my hands up in that sense, so most of you, in one sense or form, and how many of you are practicing Agile development or Agile business or Agile, so good for you. So for you guys it might be a little bit of a refresher and a reminder about in how important kind of holding retrospectives are. For those of you who are new to Agile, basically it's a project management method which is all about handling change and uncertainty. So just with tech, obviously everything changes so fast that traditional project management doesn't really work, because it takes too long to get things out the door. By the time you get it out the door, the world's moved on and changed. So Agile is a way of kind of doing lots of kind of small iterations, minimum viable product, get it out there, and then build on that. And as I say, we kind of apply that in tech, but apply it all over as well. So those of you who aren't tech, it's still a really good kind of exercise. Who's familiar with retrospectives? Just, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's cool. So hopefully this will be good. And what we're going to do is you'll notice that there are a few sailboats that have kind of appeared in various things. So as part of the kind of evening, we'll have a bit of a play at that as well. So the game I want to introduce you to is called Smooth Sailing, which is a bit of an adaptation on, if I press it harder it will work, won't it? So, thanks, Tony. So I threw this slide in because kind of why do we want to take retrospectives? Why do we want to reflect? Why do we want to review? Why do we want to get feedback as part of our process? And this is kind of one of my favourite graphics when I'm introducing Agile and why we want to be more Agile. So do you relate to this? Yeah. It's like a story of my life. You know, not just work, it's just generally, you know, we have this kind of great idea. We're like, yeah, this is where we are, this is where we want to be, and this is how we're going to get there. And then we kind of get a little way in, and it all just, and we think it's going great. And then it all just turns. And the world changes, and customers change their mind, and technology changes, and the world changes. You know, the global changes that we've had this year are phenomenal, aren't they? And how they're impacting on our businesses. So it's really important that we're regularly kind of taking that time out to, if I do that, does it work, Tony? It does. Yeah. Yeah. So in that sense, in an Agile, what we're doing is we're kind of running sprints. Like I talk about running sprints rather than marathons. So rather than taking this big long view of a project, actually breaking it down into lots of little sprints. And each of those sprints might be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or however many weeks long that you may define them as in regard to your project and your situation that you're in. Some agile books will tell you that a sprint shall be 3 weeks long. I tend to say a sprint should be as long as it is relevant to that project. So sometimes you want to be running very short sprints, and sometimes you might have longer ones, and depending on who you are and what you're doing. I was up at a conference last week doing a marketing conference, and the Brooklyn Museum said they had a 6-month sprint. So very close. They actually, when you started talking to them a bit more, actually they were running kind of more. They kind of had a few reviews in that, and I kind of said, well, that is a sprint. So I think sometimes the definitions get mixed up a little bit. So we want to take this approach, you know, we want to kind of learn and plan, and then we want to act, and then we want to take time out to review and reflect. And this is often what we don't end up doing. We just end up going do, and kind of learning when we have to, or, you know, or even get stuck in plan, and not actually ever get anything out the door, you know. So we need to get this kind of rhythm, if you like, this momentum going within our project. So we're going to kind of concentrate in on that kind of reflect section, and give you a tool, hopefully, that you can use, that you can take away and use on your own, or with teams, or with clients, or with whoever it might be. So there's kind of 5 key questions as part of your retrospective. What's gone well? Okay, so over the last sprint, or you might actually be reflecting on a series of sprints. The example I've got in a second is over about 6 months, so a number of sprints. We were doing quite a long-term review of what's been going on for them in the last 6 months. What can we do better? Notice I haven't put what did we get wrong, what did we make a mess of, what did we you know. So we're trying to frame it in a positive way. Actually, what can we improve? What can we get better at? What isn't going as well as we'd like, and we can get better. And I call them sanity metrics. So I kind of say that when you're only talking about what's going well, that's kind of vanity metrics. Whereas actually, if you start looking at what can be going better, then that's more sanity metrics. Because while we might be showing those vanity ones to the world, actually internally, it's really important to have the kind of feedback that enables us to actually improve and develop further. What's changed? So is there anything that's changed over the past few weeks or months, or the time box that we're reviewing? And how does that impact on us? What's stopping us as well? So what's blocked? What are we waiting on? What isn't going as fast as we'd like? And once we've done that, we should be able to start coming up with some kind of actions in terms of what next. You know, what actually, so what do all what does this reflection tell us that gives us the way forward to know what's the best thing to do next? So this is an example. It's not brilliantly readable, I apologise for that, but to a certain extent it is client stuff, but there's a few there that you can see. So the Sailboat game is a really simple game. It's an adaptation of innovation games. I talk about them as collaboration games. So Agile is a lot about visualising things, getting things out of your heads, getting things visual, tactile, not locked away on a computer and not locked away in your heads, but actually out there on the wall. So, as I say, this is a dev team that they've been kind of running with some stuff for a few months, and we'd come up with a couple of, basically they were running at 100% do the day job, and they were at full capacity, they were at full kind of, they were just really kind of starting to get to them because they were running at 100%. They had no time to change or improve or anything like that. So one of the things we did was we did an initial retrospective and we found some really easy wins. And one of those wins was getting like a summer intern in to pick up some of the odd jobs, which would free up some time for them to actually change and improve some of the systems. So this is a reflection on that. So basically what it is these things up here are the sales. So these are the, you know, what's going well, what's putting wind in our sails, what's our, you know, this is our boat, so it might be our project boat, or it might be our company boat, or in this case it was a team's boat. And these were the things that they kind of identified that were going really well for them. And then you've got your anchors down here. What are the things that are holding us back? What are the things stopping us? What are the things not going as well as we'd like? You'll notice there's quite a few on the boat as well. Basically, when I start this exercise, we just whack all the post-it notes onto the boat. And then what we do is we reflect on that and we go through each one and we say, okay, is this... So people put them where they think, and then they get reordered as we go. So these were kind of major anchors. These were kind of not so, they could just, the team are happy that they just kind of sat on the boat, and these were the sales. And then here are the actions that came out of it. So how we did that was we took each one of these post-it notes, and as a team we scored them. So we said, how big is this sale? Is it from a 1 to a 10? So is it just a little sale that's kind of helping us a little bit, or is it a 10? Is this our main sale? You know, is this really what's driving us forward at the moment? And then equally with the anchors, it was on a scale of a -1 to a -10. So how big is this anchor? How much is it holding us back and stopping us? And by doing that, it's really good because it gets everybody talking about how to score it. We've got a kind of, since this actually, I've come up with a new tactic, which is to play a kind of type of rock, paper, scissors. So, because what happens is, so you can either do it two ways. You can either say, okay, who wrote this post-it note and what would you score it? Or once you've done a few, actually the team kind of gets consensus. But to start, it was quite good. So you do it out of 5 instead. So a 1 to a 5, or a 1 to a -1 to a -5. So it's a kind of a rock, paper, scissors, or 2, I'll do it that way, or 3. So then people aren't, what's the word, by each other. Then, so if I said 3, everybody would be, go, well, why is she thinking 3? And you, what's the word? Influence. Somebody have to influence us, I'm sorry. So you'd be influenced. So by playing the rock, paper, scissors game, you don't tend to get as influenced. And then by doing that, we kind of come up with the, you know, what's the thing? So if we've got a -8 down here, we say, okay, what could we do to make that a -7? You know, so we pick out some of the key ones that the team really kind of pick up. You can see Kate gets a +10 every time. But we pick out some of those key ones and kind of say, okay, what would make that +5 to +6? We don't try and go from 0 to 10 or from -8 to a +8. We're just looking at a little step that we can take in that direction, and that's these things here. The one I'll bring attention to, I'm doing time myself, 5 minutes on it. Sorry, Tony. So the one I really love on this board was, and I'll just share the little story. So you've got, so the team have drawn their boat, and they've all got post-it notes, and they're whacking the post-it notes up. And Sam, the intern, kind of basically like writes this post-it note and kind of comes up and just kind of sneaks on them and kind of runs away, all kind of defensively. So we put intern doing odd jobs. And when we came to score that, the team were just like, well, and they just went straight in. And you can see this is centre master and sail. They have put him right in the middle of their boat, right at the centre of their team. And they scored him a +9, and they added the word crucial. Because he was saying, wow, you know, I'm coming for the summer, and I just keep asking stupid questions, and I'm doing just these little tiny things, and I'm not really sure that I'm really valuable to you. I'm not really sure that I'm helping. I feel like I'm a hindrance sometimes. And the team were like, oh my God, no, not at all. You know, you've been absolutely fantastic. You know, we wouldn't have been able to do all these things if it wasn't for you coming in and helping us out and doing these little things. They're really important. And his body language kind of was just, it was amazing. He kind of went from this, oh my God, I don't know what they're going to say, to, oh my God, I'm, you know, so happy. So, you know, there's some real like little magic moments that can come out of doing the game and really kind of turn things around for people and make them aware of things that they might not have been aware of or might have been uncertain about. Paul, who's the managing director, put himself up there as well, and he got a -1. And he was really pleased about that because he thought he was going to be like a -8, a huge destruction and a huge problem. And he was really, and they were like, well, you do still come in and go, guys, I have this great idea, but you're much more, you know, so that was really nice because kind of, I think if we'd done it at the beginning of the project, if Paul had placed his name out, it probably would have been a -6 or a 7 maybe. Because, you know, they were in kind of, you know, they were at full capacity, they were running and things were, everybody was stressed. I think anybody's name on that board would have got a minus number, you know, so it was really great to see that progress with the team. And this is what I really love, is when you go back in a month or two later and they go, Belinda, come and see our new boat. So this is, again, the same team. And one of the business objectives for the year was to reach new markets and get, so these guys do the mining searches for houses, so they've got a big archive of mining searches, so whenever you buy a house in Cornwall you have to have a mining search generally, and these guys help with that. They have the big archive, and there's a lot of mining up in the West Midlands, I think it was, and they wanted to break into that new market, so this is their Cornish pirate ship, of course. To go and yeah, reach that new market, and just mapped out a few of the things that were, you know, favourable to them, things that were putting wind in their sails, and some of the anchors holding them back, that they could then work on and pull those through into their boards, into their agile boards for working on in the future. So does that give you kind of a good overview of the game? Yeah. So it's really good for teamwork and clients, stakeholders as well. So you know, not just as part of your team, but if you're reviewing and getting feedback from your customer about how you think they think things are going. You know, it's really good to kind of, if you get that feedback, then obviously you can make changes and you can adapt to get your customers even more satisfied than they already are. Project stakeholders, people outside of tech, you know, it can be really powerful using it for them. Really good for reflecting on what's happened, but then also identifying ways forward as well, so being constructive and solutions focused. Whereas quite often a review can be quite negative sometimes, so it's about trying to look to the future. Really great at improving communication, so the conversations that happened in that game were brilliant, you know, really helped the team to know what was going on and what had been achieved, what hadn't been achieved, and the wider team as well that joined that, giving you clarity and visibility, and really helping as well with that kind of ethos of agile, helping teams become self-managing and self-organising, so actually them identifying what the work needed was, rather than a director or a manager or whoever it might be coming in and telling them that. So, it's really good for that side of things. So, in terms of the game, what we want to do is kind of go think about. So there's some post-it notes and pens by each poster. So it would be really great if everybody could kind of try and do at least one post-it note on one of the votes. That would be great, because we can kind of use that for feedback as well. What's going well? Put that up on the sail. What can we do better? Will go down as an anchor. What's stopping us? Will perhaps go down as an anchor as well. And then if there are actions as well, so you might look at that, or you might go up and see somebody else put a post-it note on there, and you might actually go, actually, you know, I think I've come up with a solution for that. So put up some suggestions to the kind of, there's a bit of side room on the side of the poster. Does that make sense? Yeah. And if you want to as well, you could score them. So if we go for a -5 to a +5, if everybody's happy with that, and then again, so you don't have to write your own post-it notes, you could go up and score, and we could have lots of scores on there. So don't be influenced by others, put what you think on that. In terms of topics, I wasn't sure what to come up with. Anybody got any topics? Shout them out. Any suggestions? I kind of thought Software Cornwall, the tech community. I probably should have put that. So what you think has gone really well, or what you think we could do better. Working in Cornwall generally, you go. I know it's just going to be beach surfing bikes. Agile, although there's not lots of you doing Agile. Any suggestions? It's kind of hard coming up with a topic that everybody can contribute to. This event, yeah.
Brexit.
Pardon?
Brexit.
Brexit, oh bloody hell. Sorry, I can't you edit that out. Yeah, let's not bring that vibe to the room.
We're not mentioning the B or T words.
Yeah, if we can keep it non-political, that would be good. So maybe we'll do this event and tech as a general, because then pretty much you could go to any boat and put stuff up. Yeah. So when we break, obviously, I'm not going to send you off now because there's another speaker, that would be mean. But can you do my final slide?
Just a dart one, and everyone shoot this one down. I've got clients basically up the line, and I come up with these events because there's lots of people here that do lots of things that I am going to networking in Cornwall. You suddenly go, I need that for one of my clients. I don't know if it would be, you get all the Slack chat groups, etc. But I don't know if it would be, if other people would appreciate the idea of going, okay, everyone that's in Software Cornwall or coming on to this event goes, okay, here is the people that do, copywriting, here are the people that do SEO, here are the people that do apps, or the people or the organisations, and then that sort of, even if it's just for us, I know you can Google it, but then you're Googling it just the same as anybody can Google it, and maybe if we go, oh, and I've worked with David, or with yourself or whatever, and so that might be something which we could all use. I don't know, I like being in Cornwall and trying to help other companies as well as work with other companies to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a big thing about what we're trying to do with Software Cornwall is get people collaborating, and like you say, the Slack channel, people will put stuff up on the Slack channel, and the website has got a big members, so all the members are on the website, so you can go on there and have a look at who else is
When I
around.
joined, I went through it, but I was just thinking, down the line, I'll get a project in, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't really want to look through everyone and try it.
No, you just want to whack it. Well, you can just whack it on Slack.
Yeah,
and
no, I
then
can do
people
it on that. No, I was just
respond.
wondering if that was
Yeah,
the way.
but we could do something like that at an event. Maybe
Or
in January, what we should do is have a board like that people can post to. There was quite a good thing at
What if
Bristol
everyone else thinks
actually.
my idea's crap? We might do it. I'm just saying, it's an idea.
No, I think it's a really good idea. That's, I'm a bit cautious about putting on the vote. It might be a bit mean if you feel like everybody's a sale, yeah. But yeah, or we could use a bit of other space or something like that to do it. So. Good feedback. Yeah, so yeah. Okay, cool. Who's next?
Okay, anybody got any questions?
Oh,
Belinda?
sorry, there was a, yeah, sorry.
Before we move on to the next question.
Slides
If no one else has, I do. Because I kind of have been experimenting with trying to use Agile in the ways I'm doing it, but I'm not having much joy. So I kind of like, is there a way you can implement certain bits, or is there a good way to start?
Yeah, I tend to say, I always say, take an agile approach to adopting agile. So don't try and, I know it sounds a bit thing, but I met somebody from like Zero Insurance the other day, and they were like, but we trained everybody in agile, why aren't we agile? And I'm like, well, you haven't really taken a very agile approach, have you? You've just given everybody a day's training and expect them to transform. So pick something small that is familiar, that you can kind of concentrate on the agile rather than the other things. But if you're in a team, doing it in a team, sometimes clients can take a little while to warm up to it. Try it internally, try personal adoption, read the book.
Is the book available in all good bookstores?
Pardon?
Is it available in all good bookstores?
It's on Amazon, it's on Kindle, it's on it's in W.H. Smith, it's paperback or Kindle, it's all good. But yeah, take an agile approach to being agile is my corny catchphrase. Cool. I'll be around for a little bit as well. I won't be staying late this evening, but I will be around, so catch me if you can. But I'm on Twitter and I'm online, I'm on LinkedIn, you can't miss me. I'm quite easy to find.